Stylish Naija YouTube channel. Thank you to all of my subscribers. I appreciate you guys a lot for subscribing to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much. Okay, so in today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to cut and sew a godet on a skirt, an organza godet. Yeah, godet. So we're going to be making use of an organza, so like you could see on the picture above. So this, you can actually make it with any fabric. You can also make it, so once you learn in this video, once you learn how to cut and attach a godet, you don't necessarily need to add organza. You can, it's actually, godet actually helps to make your skirts fuller. So in case of those of you that don't know how to do that, so that's what we're going to be doing in this video. It's very simple and it is easy. Okay, so what we're going to do now, so this is my skirt pattern that I'm going to be using. If you see, this is an A-line skirt. You see, the down is really not too wide. So that's what we're going to be doing. And then this is the zipper allowance part. That's the center back. So when you want to do something like this, okay, before I continue, if you are new to my channel, if you have not subscribed, please, I would appreciate if you hit on the subscribe button. Please subscribe to Stylish Naija YouTube channel and then hit the bell also to get an update whenever I upload a new video. So if you want to also register for my online classes, so you could see the number, my number scrolling through the screen, you can send me a message on WhatsApp and then I will give you the details of the available classes. All right, let's get started. So this is the organza that I'm going to be using for this. So because this is like a mini skirt, that's like a smaller version. The picture that I showed you up there, if you are going to sew that kind of godet with an organza, you're going to need at least 6 yards of organza to achieve that, or 7 yards of organza. Okay, so next thing you're going to do, you're going to determine from this center back. So this is the center back where you actually want your godet to be. That's where you want to attach it to. So you come like this and then you measure how much, that's the length. So what I have here is about 14 inches. So I'm going to, so this is like the down part, that's from your knee part, that's behind the knee. So this is 14 inches for this skirt. So you could extend it to create like a tail part on your skirt. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to extend to at least 17 inches. So the length we're going to use, we're going to make use of 17 inches. So we're going to make use of about 17 inches. You can make it as long as 20, just take your measurement. So the next thing we're going to do, I'm going to show you how to actually cut out a godet. Godet, they are like triangles, just like literally a triangle, like a flare, like a semi-flare, like a 90-degree flare. Yeah, that's what they are. So we're using 18 inches for this. Let me just double check or double sure what. Okay, we're using 18 inches. So what you are going to do, you are going to take a pattern paper. You could use your lining, you could do this on a lining, and then here's how you are going to fold. So I'll just keep the skirt on the side. You are just going to fold your fabric like this at an angle. So I want you to see this tip. This is the tip of the triangle. So you fold like this. Make the tip like this, make it sharp. There are some that you could actually start, depends on how slim you want the top part to be. So you measure like this. So the next thing we're going to do now, we're going to measure the length. Remember, we're making use of 18 inches. So you're going to come to this top, this part. This is like the top. That's this part that is going to attach to the top part, to that skirt. You place your tape like this and then you measure. You know, we're using 18 inches. So you include all of your allowances on it. So this is 18 inches. You're going to mark like this. So this is 18 and a half. That's what I'm actually using at the tail end. So you just keep going like this. Just negotiate like this. Make sure this part is placed straight. So I'm going to define, use my pattern cup to define the down. I want it. So you see what we have. So that's just like very simple way of cutting out a godet. So we're going to cut now. So you follow the triangle edge like this. So for this part, you can determine how wide. So it depends on the way you fold your fabric. That is what you will use to determine how wide you actually want your godet. I actually forgot to tell you that part. So the down part, that's what you are going to use, the down parts of your fabric. That's what you use as your fold. So for this, I'm going to be using about 16 inches. That's the width is going to be 16 inches. So because it is folded into two, so this is 8 inches, and then this is ½ inch to stitch. So that's, just take note, please. And then you cut like this. So I want you to take note, if you are making a bigger skirt, you are going to need more than this. So you open it up. So you see, this is just like very simple. This is a godet. So this you could actually fix on a normal day. You could actually decide to fix this like this. Just like maybe you are making this skirt and you can decide to just cut an extra fabric, making use of this just to give this your A-line skirt a more defined and fullness at the down. So you could actually decide to just cut a godet like this and then add to it. You could also add a godet to the first side. So you just cut them triangle like this, and then you add them to the first side here, and then you add to the front. It actually makes your skirt fuller. So that's that. So for this, since we are going to be making use of organza, so you cut it out like this, and then the next thing we're going to do now, we're going to cut out the organza that we're going to actually stitch all of the organza around just like this. So you are going to determine how many inches you actually want your steps to be. So you're going to determine how many inches. So the first one, I'm going to use 2 inches. Why? For other subsequent ones, I think I'm going to use 33 inches. So I'll show you how to cut them now. It's just simple. You are going to cut them like a fillet, the way you cut a fillet. So you could cut them and then you now decide to cut them small. So I'll just reset. Okay, so I'm going to fold my fabric like this now. So you fold it however you actually want to fold. So because I don't want to waste it, so we're actually cutting them like fillet. But because we're using 3 inches, so that is why. So you could, if you are making a very long skirt, that's a long full size skirt, you could make use of about 5 inches. So you are just going to cut out as much straps as you can cut. You cut as much as you can cut out. So I'm just going to create an opening here. I'm not using any actual measurement for the opening. And then what I'm here, so this is where my opening is going to, this is where my 3 inches is going to be. So I just mark my 3 inches, just mark it round like you are cutting out a fillet. So like I said, use 5 inches for longer, for like what is on the screen is about 5 inches. That's the picture I showed you earlier on. So you see, you cut it out nicely. So it's at the end of the day, see what I have, and then I'm going to open up on this part like this. So you see what I have. So for this, you see it is standing and beautiful already. It has those waves on it. So for this, I'm not going to add a fishing line to this. You could add a fishing line to it, to the down part, but if it is well cut like this, you actually don't need to, you might not need to add a fishing line. So this is the one of 3 inches. So I'm going to cut out another smaller one. That one is just going to be one piece. That is going to be 2 inches for the top. So I'm going to cut out as much straps as I want, and then I'll show you how to fix, how we're going to fix it on this godet. So I finished cutting out all of my pieces, so you could see them. So this is the smaller one, which is 2 inches. So that's the one I'm going to use to start from the top of my godet. The next thing you are going to do, so I'll leave them on the side. The next thing you are going to do, you transfer your godet, that's your pattern. You transfer it to a lining, because you actually cannot, you need a fabric to sew your last, you need like a base. So I'm going to transfer this now. You just place and then you cut out. I'm going to do that right now. Okay, so I've transferred my pattern to my fabric, that's the lining. The next, and you notice I added some lines here, so I'm going to show you how to do that. These lines are the lines that I'm going to, the point where I'm going to be stitching all of my organza. So the first one, I just came down with, the first one is 2 inches. So I came down by 1 inch here because I want the top part to cover properly. So I used 1 inch and then another 1 inch. So that makes up for my 2 inches. Then the next thing, from that point, I just started marking my 3 inches apart. So I marked them down to the last part, and then I just marked them like this, just to know when I'm going to be stitching them. So the first one that I'm going to fix is the one that's the smaller one, which is about 2 inches. So I'm going to double it like this. So you could decide to just fix like this, but this one I'm going to, like, since I'm not using a fishing line, I'm going to give it that folding effect. So I'm going to just hold like this a little bit, and then I'm going to place here like this. On this part, I'll just use a top stitch like this to stitch this point, and then I'll take the second one. So this is the second one. It actually fell down. So I'll place this like this, like I told you, you use a top stitch, and then here is the second one like this. So I'll place it. So everything you're doing, just make sure that the first one covers up the second one. Just make sure it covers the tip. That's when you stitch. So after stitching that one, this one also, I'm going to place it like this and use a top stitch to stitch it like this. Just make sure this one is covering. So after that, I'll take the third piece like this. This one's now are the bigger ones of about 3 inches. So I'm just going to stitch it like this here along this line. So you see it is looking beautiful, and then after stitching you raise it up like this, and then you stitch the other one. So I'm going to stitch some couple and then bring it back and show you how it will look like. So you see I've done the first and the second one, so this is the third one. I'm just going to take it like this. So you place it, just place it. Everything you are doing, just make sure that this first one is covering, it's just covering, that the stitch part is not showing. So you see, you're just going to place like this. So I'll use my hand. I'm just going to give it like tiny pleats like this, just to give it that like bulky effect. And then you cut that out. So you see how it is looking so beautiful, even though it does not have a fishing line. So I'll take the next one. I'm going to fix it just the way I fixed this one right now. So I will just keep doing that until I cover up the whole of my godet, and then I'll bring it back to the table and show you how it should look like. Okay, so at the end of the day, after stitching, so here is how it is going to look like. So you see it's looking beautiful, well placed. So you see, so this is how the back is going to look like. So for this back part, now what you are going to do, you are going to line it. So you are just going to turn it out with a lining. So it depends on the kind of stitching, the kind of sewing you are using. If you are doing an inseam finishing, this will just be good for you after fixing on the skirt, and then you turn and cover up with your lining, which is going to be easier. So the next thing now, you are going to measure your opening. So this is the back of our skirt. You know we're using 18 inches. That's from this point is 14, and then we added an extra inches to just create like a tail on it. So here is how it's going to look like. So you see already, you see how beautiful it is looking, like the picture. It is looking like the picture I showed you earlier on. So I'm just going to open up to my 14 inches point. So I'll open up my skirt now. Okay, so you take it back. So I just took it back to my machine to secure the edges. So now I can trim out nicely now. So so I will not have a problem when I'm stitching. Okay, so you see how it is looking. It's just looking so beautiful. That's just the truth. The next thing you are going to do, so I've opened up my skirt now to where that this is the back of my skirt. This is the right side of my skirt right now. So I'm going to show you how to attach it. So you open it. This is the zipper. This is the back. This is the zipper side. This is the zipper allowance part, and then you open up to where you want to attach it to. It is very simple and very easy. You are just going to take it like this, and then you turn it this way. I'm just going to take it this way. So I'll just take one edge of it and then I'll place it here like this. So I'll use my pins. Okay, my pin is not here, so I'm just going to show you how to stitch it anyway. So from this part, I'm going to take it now to my machine. I'll stitch this one part and then bring it back and show you. Okay, so you see I've finished stitching. So like I said, you just take from this top point like this, and then you place it, the top point, you just place it right side facing right side, and then you stitch it down to the hem of the skirt. So you see it is looking so beautiful. Do you know, I'm just so excited. See how beautiful it is. So after stitching that one part, the other part you are going to, so you notice, you see the top of this part, I'm going to show you how to finish it up on that top part. So the next thing you are going to do now, you turn your skirt like this. So you turn it like this, and then this part like this, you are going to hold it. Just make sure, don't pull, don't push. This is the other edge of your skirt. You're just going to place it like this on the other edge, on this other edge. So I hope you can see it properly. Okay, so you place it like this also, and then I'm going to stitch. So I'm going to show you how to finish up this part that it will look sharp inside of it. So I'll take this like this again. Also, I'll go and stitch it and bring it back and show you. Just stitch. Okay, so you could see at the end of the day, so you see how it is looking. I'm going to open up. Wow, so you see how our skirt, so you see the fullness of the skirt now. You see now that the skirt is fuller at the down. So this part, you need to finish it up from inside. So I'll open it up for you to see. So here is what you are going to do on this part. You are going to, so this is the zipper allowance part. You are going to take it back, and then this part you are going to fold it like this, and then you are going to stitch it. You are just going to follow the zipper allowance, the stitching allowance, that's the back stitching allowance. You are just going to stitch it, let it come into this point with at least, let me say, half of an inch, just to close up these 2 points together like this. So you stitch like this on this part like this, just stitch, let it get to this point, and then you do a top stitch. So I'll do that and show you, so you see the effect of it. So you see that stitch that I made, so that actually helps you to give, so you see this point, it actually helps to give it that distinct shape at the back. So that is for that. So when you are done, the next thing we are going to do now, we're going to trim our skirt. You're just going to trim the down part of your skirt to fit. So here's what I'm going to do. On this part, I'm just going to come like this. Okay, I'm really not using any measurement. So this is like the down part of my skirt. So I'm just going to trim it. Sorry, I'm going to just curve it along this part just to blend it into this point. So here's what I'm trying to say. I'm just going to blend like this. So you see how beautiful it is looking. So this is how you actually blend in the edges of your skirt. Okay, so at the end of the day, so after blending, this is how our skirt is going to look like. So like, this is an organza. Actually, it does not fray, so you can decide to use overlock seam on all of these edges, but most times mine, I usually don't lock them. I'll just leave it like this. So you see how beautiful the skirt, our Godet skirt, is looking. So you see the back is fuller, So at the end, the skirt actually came out beautifully well. So thank you so much. If you find this video helpful, I will appreciate if you hit on the like button to make me know you appreciate what I did. And then if you have any question, just drop your question on the comment sections. So thank you so much. I'll see you in my next video. Thank you.